Welcome back to Wook Plus. I am Weekend Wook, joined by Kev the Great Went. Kev, happy opener, man. How you doing?
If that's the way this is going to go this summer, man, we got
I mean,
23 more nights that are just whoa.
I am so pumped. I was excited going into the tour anyway. Just they played incredible in Mexico. They played incredible in Vegas. And New Year's, going back to New Year's, and I was like, and tonight just kept it going. Right, like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna say it's the best show ever, and I don't know if it's the best opener, but the energy was there.
Oh
The
my
playing was
God.
tight. It was fucking perfect. I really enjoyed tonight. A lot of
All
fun.
I can say is I feel like the press tour, them playing on Fallon, them doing the Tiny Desk, they spent all this time together. For the Tiny Desk, they probably like took a look back on their lives.
Yeah.
They were doing this little thing, they did the sound check as Mike Lowe was telling us about. And I think that really helped. They're like mid tour form out of
Yeah.
the box tonight.
Yeah, they seem to be in like a really healthy place too, right? And maybe it's because I've been doing so much like retrospective looking back at 2.0 and like darkness and everything. And then they have too. Yeah, thanks, Jason. And like on like that Marin episode, and like to see this now, the 4.0 goodness and what they gave tonight, all positive. I guess
Right.
let's get into this first set, do what we do, and see how it goes.
My favorite opener. We've
Me
got quite
too.
a few of them in Wook Club, but I mean, anytime you could do Buried Alive every night as your opening tune, just to loosen up, get the wheels greased.
Get the people dancing, get the
Yeah.
band flow, and everything was good. Yeah, I agree. A perfect way to start. And then zero, man, just keep the octane, which you don't have to do. I'm not one of these people that say like you have to follow the same formula every show, but
Right.
I do think it's a very wise move for the very first set of the first show of tour to hit it hard with a lot of octane. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah. And
don't go
shake
too
it up.
spacey too early. Hit it,
Right.
and I think this was what they
Character
did.
Zero is a Character Zero is a closer, had a little extra jazzy jam in it. They really opened it up a little bit. I like Character Zero in the two spot.
Yeah. No, I do too. I think that was a nice choice. And then we got our first Evolve tune, which, out of the whatever 12 or 13 Evolve tunes, this is one of
Depending on what you bought.
yeah, depending. This is one that I was kind of hoping that was going to be make an appearance, and
Type
I
one.
don't think it disappointed, right?
Type one, but type one page. He had
Yeah.
this middle section there that was just, I tweeted that it was the new 46 days, which is funny that they did it later in the set, but straight ahead rocker, a little more funky than 46 days, but they do the verse and chorus, they do the solo, they do a second solo, they run through the song for Page and then Trey, and then they close it out, and nothing wrong with that. That's straight ahead rock and roll, and I'll take that any day of the week in the third spot.
Yeah, I mean, so far this set was really exactly what I wanted
On
to start, right?
fire, on
Yeah.
fire.
And then they find, then they start to open it up a little bit more with the disease, which, I think served
In
its
the middle of the
purpose.
set on the
Yeah.
first night, let's do disease.
Right.
Okay. Well, you know what? You know what I was thinking, that
Respectable.
they the last disease was the huge one, right?
Yeah.
That they did it at the Sphere. So this was a good way to ease disease back in. 16 minutes, middle of the first set. Nobody's expecting another 30-minute, as if they had to open the second set with it. Then people would compare it more, I think, to the Sphere, where this is, you're just like, wow, they did it down with disease in the middle of the set.
Yeah, it felt like it was longer when I was listening to it a little bit, but you know what I mean? It had some substance to it. Uh, but yeah. And then we got I think a pretty decent Roggae. Back more traditional.
Right. I tell you what, I wasn't as into it. I don't know why. When they played it, it's the one song that in this set that I was like, all right,
Well,
cool.
it's a breather, right? But I mean, as far as breathers go, I think it's a good.
I've always been huge on that one. Like
Yeah.
you want to see that one, kind of.
Yeah, Roger.
Oh, there we are.
Oh no, this is actually a beanie that I just pulled back tight because of my headphones. But
I pronounce Roger like the hair loss product.
I alternate, Jason, because I don't know. So I mean, if I had to pick, I would say Roger. like the zh. But I occasionally will throw in a Roggae because I'm not confident enough. I think the double
Rogaine.
makes it a J,
It's
right?
Rogaine.
Rogaine.
Rogaine. It's the hair loss product.
Well, what'd you think about the NICU,
I
Bruce?
like, they did the really long one when they played at the NICU place in California, I guess in 21. And I like the song. It's fun. It's got a cool little groove. I'm a big fan of PHiSH doing songs sometimes. They don't all
Yeah.
need to be 16 minutes long.
Yeah, and NICU is one of those songs that just makes me irrationally happy, like indescribably just puts a smile on my face. And you know, I never, and I don't know if other people hate it or love it, but that's one that I will never talk shit about because I always enjoy it. You're right, like it's a good one. It's a nice, always a fun song to have. I thought the stash. All right, so I got to admit, at this point, I was working on something and I had it blasting in the background, but I found myself during this stash like it was ripping. Like I thought it felt like I wasn't listening super intently at this point, but it felt like it had some gusto to it. Uh, really, really pushed. I thought.
Yeah, no, it was a good stash. It was solid. The re-entry to it was good. They found their way back. It was kind of blissy for my taste, but opening night of tour, they're fleshing things out. It's a great salvo. I think Stash is going to have a fantastic summer. We'll probably get 2 or 3 more of them. The one at Mondegreen is going to be something for the ages.
Stash is kind of like an unsung hero too, right? Like if like I asked you what have been like the workhorses, right, of like 4.0, be like, Wave of Hope or character, you know what I mean? Like there'd be probably a list and you probably wouldn't say Stash, but if you go back and listen to the last 5 stashes, not one of them was bad. Every single one of them I thought like really did a lot, for this set.
It's intent. It's intent and purpose. I feel like on Dre's part, like some songs, like when we get to the melt, I think in 4.0, he's rediscovered a passion for this
That was
older
sick.
song.
It was so sick. Yeah, I agree. And then finishing up with 46 Days, really love that as a closer.
Yeah. It
Nice,
was all
solid.
rock and roll. I mean, aside from Roggae, because I think that's someone said
That's
that's how
yeah, I
they
think that's a
pronounce it.
consensus in chat.
Um, Besides that, I mean, it was all balls to the wall rock and roll. Good for them. That's the way you come out on tour. A lot of hype. People have been talking. You probably ended up with, a couple hundred people who've never seen PHiSH before. We're like, oh, I saw them on Fallon. Let's go check them out.
Yeah,
You probably
possibly.
sold a few people on it.
I don't know. They played Evolve on Fallon. I don't think that brought anybody here tonight.
Oh, come on. Because
Well,
they pushed the tour. They mentioned the tour. So people went to the
and Mark
website.
Barron too, probably. Right. I feel like that's a closer
Yeah, but if you live in Boston, you're like, hey, we'll go out to Great Woods for the night and see this PHiSH band.
yeah. No, I mean, I don't know about any of that, but I do know that this was a very strong way to open the tour and has me really stoked. All right. Set break, housekeeping. It's simple housekeeping. We're gonna be doing this 15 minutes after encore every night. I fucked up the member hang because I forgot I had family in town, so I apologize. But look out. We'll post either on Twitter or on YouTube or something what we're doing with the member hangs.
Right when we do the member hang, if we post the link, you'll know that it exists. And sorry to the couple people who showed up and
Yeah, that was my bad. My daughter's birthday, having a birthday party this weekend, and I just too much on my mind. But anyway,
but the bathroom looks great.
the dude,
And also
when we get together, my family, that's what we do. We just spontaneously construct and build shit.
do work there.
We do work.
Do work. And we do have another channel, just so you guys know. If you're into comic books, it's Panels Frames. We'll have a link down in the description for this. So go over and check that out. We're going to be trying to do Thursdays, something on there. We might do little, things about like Captain America trailer came out, things like that. So make sure you check that out too, and like and subscribe.
Yes, please like and subscribe. All right, let's get into the second set. Suzy to start.
I'm over Suzy Greenberg. we can shelve that one. I don't know. It's cool that it opened the set. It was cool that it opened the set, but
the set is upside down in a weird. I mean, I don't know if it's fully upside down, but it's a little wonky. Having the Antelope and the Suzy so far up on it. I liked it though. I liked the spot for it, and it's so fast, and I don't know. It's like nostalgia. Like if they're, you know what I mean? Like, right? It's not doing anything new for me. I'm not like, oh my god, did you hear that, Suzy? But it does scratch a little bit of the nostalgia itch for me, which I think it's okay to sprinkle that in a little bit.
Do you think it's weird that they brought the woman it was about to see the song? When you listen to the lyric isn't very nice, I guess. Ultimately.
I thought that when they first did that with her at MSG, they made a big announcement, and then
they played it, and you're like, oh, you're that chick.
Right. And like, that's super fucking awkward. Those are not great lyrics.
That's what I'm saying. Let's it's one thing when, boy finds girl says no, boy writes song. That's what you end up with that.
What did you make about Antelope in the 2 spot?
I want Antelope in the 2 spot every night of the week.
Yeah, it works kind of there.
Fire.
Right?
It just, you could see the crowd just completely lit up. I mean, it was perfect.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm sorry to be rude.
That's all right. We didn't get any Fishman samples, though. I was hoping that Fishman was going to load up a Hawk Tua sample.
Damn, kid. I was literally about to come on here and be like, no, I'm kind of glad that he's holding back on it, but you're dropping some wisdom there. A Hawk Tua would have been fucking really, really funny.
He did a great little thing right before they like changed, after the jam and it calms down a little. He did a little extra drum solo thing. Trey looked over at him and smiled and was like, good for you.
Yeah, he's feeling it, man. I mean, he might have lost a little bit of a step, right? And he doesn't quite have the finesse in his right hand, but he's still feeling it. And I think that's the most important thing. And like, I don't think he's slowing down anymore. I think they're all feeling it. This Ghost was the highlight by far for me. And I know you have the mixed feelings on
One more minute.
I thought the whole
one more minute, everybody would have had to pay up.
Yeah, I know, right?
For the Mockingbird, if you haven't done that, go over, find the Mockingbird. They have a thing where you pledge like, $5 for every 20-minute song on tour. You end up getting hit for maybe $200. Not a bad deal.
No, for a very good cause. Those guys are awesome. But yeah, I thought
fantastic. It got dark, incredible. Man. It got dark. It was so cool. And you go ahead and say what you're going to say, because I have a real big thought about the light and then the jamming light with the Ghost.
No, you go ahead.
Well, it was almost like they were in this dark place and they were doing the Ghost thing, and it was like you're flying through space, and then all of a sudden there was light and they like went around it, and then they hit the dark space again. And it's just weird to me. Why didn't we have a 31-minute Ghost without singing the light part of it?
Yeah, I mean, we've had this. I feel like this is deja vu. Every time they come out of a big jam that felt like it could have been bigger, we're like, why didn't they just make it bigger? But I don't know if they kept on it, that it would have moved the way that, you know what I mean? Like, we assume that if you stay on, it's going to be a monster, but I don't know. I think the light was what needed to happen to keep the flow of that moving. I think they were looking for something. He landed in it, and it worked.
And credit due where credit's due. As you said before we came on, the transition here was pretty flawless. Trey totally found it. He was looking down, he was digging deep, and he hit light, and the rest of the band was right there with him on it. It was a pretty nice.
Well, that's what I mean. There. Is like, it didn't feel forced or ripcord. I don't even know that it was a decision. Like, you're implying, like, maybe that's not what you meant, but like, the logic of what you're saying is they made a choice. Now it's time to
Right.
go to Light. I think Light found them, right? Like
Right.
I honestly like that sounds a little maybe, you
No, it
know,
was kind of it felt very organic. You're
right. Like
absolutely right.
they stumbled into it and they were like, this is where we're going. And you stumble into these things and it sure sometimes it's not perfect, but that's still what I love about it is that you never know where it's going to land and how it's going to evolve.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. It didn't feel ripcorded. That's what I was saying, chat. God damn.
All right. So I was big on Pillow Jets. Remember last year I was like, Pillow Jets is going to be the New Year's Eve song. And I was real big on it. And then they released the album, and I had this realization that the lyric for Wave of Hope mentions Pillow Jets. And then they have the song Pillow Jets. And I'm like, wait a minute, where does this belong? When they went into it tonight, I was like, all right, they're going to tell us the truth about this song tonight. And really, it was they were tepid. They held back.
Yeah, very underwhelming. This song, if like you had like a hot, low, cold, thing, I think this one's falling for me, right? It has like the down arrow. I don't dislike it. I still like the song, but I was also a lot higher on it. I even like this. I thought this version didn't do it any like this tonight didn't do it any credit, but overall
no favors.
Yeah, didn't no favors. But overall, with everything else we got tonight and how much energy was in both of these sets, it's fine.
There's a good 7-8 extra minutes in that jam section.
Yeah, that there should be.
That they did beneath the sea of stars.
Why'd they even do beneath the sea of stars? Why not do a 15-minute Pillow Jets?
You know what?
Welcome to Wook
Stars. Let me say something nice. Beneath the Sea of Stars might be Trey's most Hunter-esque lyric, in as much as every line in it, if you're standing there just singing it, and that line's the only thing you know in that moment, it stands on its own. No. It's I'm in the moment, I'm looking up, and I just poo-poo on it because I don't know why. It just doesn't do it for me.
Because you're a grouchy old man and you like the shit on your favorite band. That's how.
But I said something nice. I did
you
say
did,
something
and
nice.
You get credit for that. For me, my realization last year, I think, was that this is one of those songs that works better live. That it's hard for me to be hypercritical sitting on the couch or standing in my kitchen listening to it. I think when I've caught it and I'm in the field or on the lawn, it's beautiful. It touches you, and like
you sway.
Right, you sway. You feel the cool breeze. You start to get little goosebumps. And like it does something
I gotta
that it doesn't do when you're couch touring. So, and honestly, who gives a fuck too? Because the melt with everything I wanted it to do. It's like,
has there been a bad melt in 4.0?
No.
I mean, it's such a high bar that this one, got points for me because it was all dark. A couple of them have gone a little bliss, which doesn't
but even
belong in a melt.
I've liked them all. The Man melt, the Dick's melt, the New York, the MSG melt. They've all been fucking great.
Trey was very patient, again, intent. Going back into it, he did it. He did the 3 notes again. He did the 3 notes again. Then they sped up a little. Then he hit the 3 notes again, and then boom, they were back in the end. And sometimes he tries to just go right back into it instead of letting them get the tempo right.
He's been patient with it as of late, though, I think. Yeah, so I don't know if you caught this. I think it was the Marin interview, but I've read so many PHiSH interviews and Trey interviews over the last week. I might be getting mixed up, but there was a part where he was like humble bragging about like PHiSH being great, or I don't know if they were talking about like whatever. Like they were basically talking about them being virtuosos.
They ain't no nostalgia act, I'll tell you that much.
Well, it was funny. I picked up on one of the things he said is he specifically referenced the Melt Jam, saying that the band together, what they can do in a Melt Jam is something that no other band can do. And that the fact that he knows, like it's not just he knows what that jam can do and what that song is, and they use it perfectly. And I think that's thank you, Taboo. Yeah, see, Taboo, it was in Marin. Right. It was a short thing, and like you could have easily missed it. But like to me, that stuck out to me. It's like this is an important jam for this band, and especially right now.
Can I just say that I hope that the next Fishtails, when it comes out, Coventry,
Yeah.
people talk about the Split Open and Melt, because if you've never heard it,
Blow
it's
some
like
steam
30
off.
minutes long, and they do a second Split Open and Melt jam. They go back, he finds the 3 notes, they go back to the end, then they go back out for another 12 minutes or so before they actually end the song. And it may be the single best moment from Coventry.
Right, which is not saying a lot, but it is really good. That one, okay, so real quick on that Fishtails, I started it and it's going really well. Like, it's gonna be incredible. It's hard. It's the narrative of
You
this
got
is
more
hard.
people now. You got, instead of just 3 of
Well,
us in
it's
the beginning.
complicated too because when everything is triumphant and like nostalgic and like happy-go-lucky, like, oh, it was the best of times. It was the, this is literally like I
Dark.
almost thought about doing a montage of being like, it was a shit show, it was the worst, it was you know what I mean? And like I could, but like I don't want it
should. That should be the opening. It sucked.
Yeah, but then maybe like find some other threads there and some triumph hidden in the mud, hidden. I don't know. I really want this one's going to take a little bit of time because I want to really pull it together. But anyway, keep your eyes out for it. The best way to not miss it is to subscribe and ring the bell, and that way, when we publish it, you'll get a nice notification. You can be one of the first people to watch it. The It one is up right now. If you haven't checked that one out, it is really fun.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
So Harry Hood has become an encore, kind of. I remember the Sci-Fi Soldier Night. They did it as an encore. Last couple summers keeps popping up as an encore, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm not positive. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not certain, but I'm also leaning negative on my thoughts of it because I don't know that it works. I don't know if it's better served in the encore. It's a fine encore, right? But I think it's a penultimate or ultimate of a set
closer. It's gotta be a set
closer. It's either a set closer, or if they realize they have a few more minutes, you could go into like a short whatever, Zero or Suzy or
Santos or something.
Or something to punctuate. But like, I don't know. It was fucking great though. Like,
hey, you're getting a Hood. Look at that. I mean, you look at that whole set list, so many classics, 2 new songs, 1 off of the Ghost of the Forest, which is still a 4.0. The rest of the show, though, was all 1.0 songs except for Light.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of complaints about this show.
Dude,
I think
if this is the first night, I mean, it makes Arkansas look like you were listening to a tape in a barn somewhere or a garage as a rehearsal for the tour. And you know that I love that Runaway Groove when they did the Week of Pop Groove in the middle of the Runaway Gym. That's one of my favorite things because it was the thing that started off 4.0.
That was pretty cool.
It's
so
but
funny you went to Arkansas. You didn't have to go to Arkansas. You could have gone anywhere. There's been lots of openers that this was better than. I mean, I appreciate that you did that, but you didn't have to, for the record.
We got 75% of the world wondering, what does that mean?
Don't worry about it. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. We'll be back here tomorrow night.
Maybe if you're a member, we're going to do a set break hang, and you can become a member by hitting join on your PC browser or laptop.
All right. Thanks, everybody.